Hey there, movie fans. Welcome to the Blues of July 2019. Most of the movies that I picked up over the month of July are Italian movies. I have one spaghetti western. Well, actually, there are two spaghetti western, but it's one set. And the rest are gialli and poliziotteschi films. So, yeah, let's do this. First up is a stack of Arrow video Blu-rays from their sale. You might remember in my previous update I showed you one stack, and I said there's another one on the way, and this is going to be it. Starting off with American Horror Project Volume 2. This has, I haven't seen any of these films yet, but I ended up liking the films of Volume 1, so I hope I'll like these as well. Dark August. And this is The Child. I heard that this is the best one of this set. And we have Dream No Evil. And of course it comes with a booklet there. You know, I still need to get Stephen Thrower's book Nightmare USA. That was the basis for these releases. But yeah, very nice release. American Horror Project Volume 1. Here's another box set. This is the De Niro and De Palma, the early years box set with the wedding party. I haven't seen this one yet. Greetings, which I have seen, but that was a long time ago, and Hi Mom. I don't know if I've seen that one before, but I'm not really sure. But anyway, here are the DVDs. Also had a booklet there. Greetings, and the other one is the wedding party. You see the other artwork there. You had three very early, late 1960s, early 70s films that was directed by De Palma and stars Robert De Niro before both of them became, very popular. And speaking of De Palma, I also got Phantom of the Paradise, which I tried to watch years and years ago, but at the time it wasn't my kind of movie, but now I'm giving it another chance. Schlock. This is John Landis' first film. Never seen it either. They're also going to release American Werewolf in London. The nice deluxe limited edition set, which I'm very much looking forward to. Absolutely love that movie. This is Clown the Movie. I thought this was very funny. There are some embarrassing moments in this film. I know there's also a TV series, and perhaps I need to check that one out as well. But this is not for everyone. Definitely not for everyone. Some people might find this offensive, especially in this day and age of political correctness. But I thought it was very funny. Clown. Okay, the next 5 Arrow titles are Italian genre films. The first one is The Pajama Girl Case, directed by Flavio Mogherini. He was also known as a production designer and art director, and in that profession he worked with the giants of Italian cinema, such as Fellini, Pasolini, Carlo Lizani, Mario Bava, and he also worked on a few peplum films that were very popular in the late 50s, early 60s, like Hercules, for example. Yep. The Fifth Court, which is an excellent film by Luigi Bazzoni. starring his good friend Franco Nero. By the way, Nero Bazzoni, his brother Camillo Bazzoni, and Vittorio Storaro were best of friends, and they all started working together in the early 1960s. And Nero and Storaro became very successful. Storaro, for example, is now a celebrated Academy Award-winning director of cinematography who worked on The Conformist, Apocalypse Now, The Bird with the Crystal Plummets, The Last Emperor, The Sheltering Sky, Lady Hawk, Dick Tracy, and his camera work on The Fifth Court is fantastic. Bazzoni, on the other hand, didn't really become a popular filmmaker, which is a shame because I think he's underrated. But maybe that has something to do with the fact that he was publicity shy. He rarely gave interviews. Yep. And the last three titles are all directed by Ricardo Freda. I'm not very familiar with this filmmaker, so these will be my introductions to his work. This is The Iguana with the Tongue of Fire, starring Luigi Pistilli, a very familiar Italian actor. He was also in For a Few Dollars More and many other spaghetti westerns and gialli. Double Face with Klaus Kinski. They show the other artwork there. Doppia Fascia. And this is the Italian, I don't know how to pronounce this one, so I won't even try. And the last one is Celtici, Il Mostro Immortale, or the Immortal Monster. Freda co-directed this with Mario Bava, so I'm very much looking forward to that one. And there's the other artwork of that. Okay, here's another Arrow Video title, but this is a US only release. Torso, a truly great giallo by Maestro Sergio Martino. This has everything that a giallo needs to have. Sex, violence, brutal killings, beautiful women, beautiful scenery as well. The Italian locations look absolutely stunning, and it has a cool masked killer. But when he revealed himself, it wasn't that much of a surprise, and his motivations are weak in my opinion. But it didn't really bother me. I mean, this is one of the most entertaining gialli I've ever seen. Comes with the booklet, and here's the original Italian front cover there. Yeah, I enjoyed this quite a bit. Torso. Next one is Street Law, a crime drama, a pretty good crime drama by Enzo G. Castellari, with again Franco Nero right there, and Barbara Bach, there she is right there. Wasn't she married to Ringo Starr? I could be mistaken. I don't remember. I believe she was married to a famous guy. I think it was Ringo Starr, but I should have done my homework. Anyway, this was pretty good. Street Law. Now here's a beautiful edition of Dario Argento's opera. The 3-disc set. This is released by oh yeah, Scorpion releasing right there. Very, very beautiful set. There's the slipcase there. There's the original artwork. You got the 3 different versions, as you can see there. All was stored in 2K. You have a mini poster here. and the 3 DVDs right there. Yeah, that is a very beautiful set indeed, of one of Argento's finest films, opera. I grabbed some Lucio Fulci films, and the first one is The Psychic, which I still need to see, but I heard good things about this one. This is A Lizard in a Woman's Skin, which I have seen, and it is absolutely fantastic. Fantastic giallo. I quite liked it. This was put out by Mondo Macabro. I don't have many releases from this company, by the way. In fact, I think this is the only one to have. No, I think... No. I don't know, I'm rambling. Sorry about that. The last one I got from the Fulci films is, without a doubt, his most notorious, or at least one of his most notorious classic films, The New York Ripper. This is the 3-disc limited edition from Blue Underground with the lenticular slip there. New 4K restorations, which looks very nice. There is a similar release coming out later this year of Two Evil Eyes, you know, the Argento Romero movie. And I will be getting that one as well, because I really like what Blue Underground is doing with these releases. We got the soundtrack CD right there, the DVD, and the Blu-ray. Yep. Next is The Tough Ones, aka Assault with a Deadly Weapon, aka Brutal Justice, aka Rome Armed to the Teeth, aka God knows how many titles this movie has, but what a movie. You know, Mauricio Merli as a badass cop who doesn't follow the rules, and another crazy role by Tomas Milian as Il Gobbo, or the Hunchback. And you know, what an addition by Grindhouse Releasing. Definitely one of my favorite Blu-ray releases of the year. It also comes with, oh, hang on, with a bullet pen right there, which was limited to 2,500. There it is right there. The Tough Ones. Got a nice little extra there. And yeah, very beautiful set. Let me give you a closer look on it. I'm pretty sure you have already seen it on a couple of videos. I know that Carlos, Eastwood for Life fan, has showed this before. Here's the soundtrack on CD, and here's the two. Whoa, it is loose inside. I hate it when that happened. With the 2 Blu-rays, and of course you got the booklet there. And here is the alternate artwork with the different title. You know, like I mentioned before, here's the other title. Yeah, very, very beautiful release, this one. The Tough Ones. And I also picked up the sequel, The Cynic, the Rat, and the Fist, with Merli returning as Inspector Tanzi. Well, he doesn't work for the police anymore, he's retired now, or something like that. And Milian playing a different character this time. He is somewhat disappointing, especially if you compare it to his performance in The Tough Ones. And the movie itself is somewhat of a disappointment. It's still good, but of all the crime films that Umberto Lenzi has made, that I've seen so far anyway, this is my least favorite one. My favorite one is not The Tough Ones, by the way. It's Almost Human. I still think that's one of his best films. And I hope that more Mauricio Merli films will be released on Blue, like Violent Naples. I've always wanted to see that one. You know, he was generally known as a Franco Nero lookalike. It all started when a couple of producers wanted to make a movie with Nero, but they could not afford him, so they created their own Franco Nero, Mauricio Merli. So he will always be known as a Nero copycat, if you like. And I think that's unfair. You know, he was really good, even though he did play the same kind of character in these films. Okay, the next one is this very nice limited edition Blu-ray release containing 2 European westerns. This is put out by Dorado Films, the same company that also is responsible for this release that, you know, came out some time ago. And this is limited to 600. My number is 402, and Carlos, Eastwood for Life fan, his number is 401, and I couldn't believe it when he showed his copy in his latest video. He has 401, I have 402. I mean, what are the odds, right? That is absolutely crazy. But anyway, you know, it took some time before this was finally released. They announced it in 2017, and you know, some people who pre-ordered it became a little impatient, which is understandable, of course. But it's finally here, and yeah, it's a very nice release indeed. You see, you show the disc. You have the 7 from Texas on Blu-ray, and this is the $100,000 for Lasseter on DVD. Both movies starring Robert Hundar. And let me show you the other things here. This is the a nice art card there. There's the American art card, and then you have these little, you know, this is a German advertisement for the movie. There's a little booklet there with some writings and pictures. You know, these are not restored or anything like that. You know, they have dirt and scratches on the screen. They're, you know, Dorado Films is a very small company that cannot afford restorations, but it's probably the only way we're ever going to watch these you know, highly obscure Euro westerns. So this is a very welcomed release for sure. Yep, very nice indeed. I got a few American westerns here. Broken Arrow, not to be confused, of course, with the John Woo movie. But this is a fine film with James Stewart. You know, there's a scene with Stewart on horseback, riding along with a stagecoach, and then they're being ambushed by Apache renegades, and the driver of the stagecoach, he jumps off and falls on a rock, and his reaction, that's not acting. I believe he really hurt himself there. It was quite an ugly fall there. But yeah, Broken Arrow. Next one is The Horse Soldiers, and this pretty much completes my John Wayne, John Ford Western collection. I got most of them on DVD, and there are a few I like to upgrade to Blue someday. And the last one is The Great Northfield, Minnesota Raid, with Cliff Robertson as Cole Younger and Robert Duvall as Jesse James. I liked it. I really liked it. It was an offbeat but enjoyable and at times witty revisionist western by Philip Kaufman, who later directed The Wanderers, The Right Stuff, Rising Sun, and the 1978 version of Invasions of the Body Snatchers. Yeah, really enjoyed this one. Picked up these two very nice releases from Second Sight, two horror movies from Amicus. The first one is The House That Dripped Blood, with Peter Cushing, Sir Christopher Lee, Ingrid Pitt, Count Dracula with lipstick, and well, I don't know who this is, but yeah, very nice release. Comes with the mini poster. Here's the booklet. Robert Bloch, yeah, that's the writer. He's best known as the screenwriter of Psycho. And here is the Blu-ray. Yeah, very nice. And Asylum with Peter Cushing again. This also has a mini poster, a booklet, and of course you got the Blu-ray right there. Yeah, looking forward to checking these films out. I'm probably going to check them out in October, you know, the month of horror. And speaking of horror, I got a classic one here, and that is Don't Look Now. You know, the first time I watched this film, which is, I don't know, a couple of decades ago maybe, I thought it was okay. You know, I didn't think it was you know, the masterpiece as people said it was. And later I saw it again and I appreciated it more. So I think it's a kind of film that gets better every time I see it. But this is a beautiful release from Studio Canal. You know, they did similar releases of this, of you know, The Man Who Fell to Earth and The Third Man, for example. You got the 4K blue there, regular blue, some extras here. Let me show you that in a minute. The bonus Blu-ray and the CD soundtrack. So you got a mini poster here, some picture cards, and of course you got the booklet right there with some pictures and pages of the screenplay and other writings as well, as you can see here. Yeah, very nice release, this one. I picked up these three Steven Spielberg films, The Post, and here is Saving Private Ryan on 4K, and the Digibook of Empire of the Sun. You know, my Spielberg collection is now complete so far anyway, because he's momentarily doing another version of West Side Story, and then after that he's going to do Indiana Jones 5. But I will be doing a video of my Spielberg collection, similar to the ones I've done on Scorsese, Kubrick, Hitchcock, Tarantino. You know, some people has asked me to do it, so you can expect that very soon. I don't know when I'm going to do it, but it will be soon, so stay tuned for that. And speaking of Spielberg, he was also the executive producer of First Man, which comes with this very nice steelbook, even though it has some fingerprints on it, which is quite annoying. But, you know, it's still very beautiful steelbook. I saw this on July 20, which is exactly 50 years ago when the moon landing took place. Well, that is, if you believe in it anyway. You know, there's plenty of people out there who believe it was all staged, you know, and according to legend, Stanley Kubrick was responsible for that. But I'm not a conspiracy theorist, so I like to believe that the moon landing did happen. But I have mixed feelings about this film. On one hand, it's very well made, and I like the way it was shot in handheld documentary style, and the aviation scenes and of course the moon landing sequence are fantastic. On the other hand, the scenes with Neil Armstrong and his family, they left me cold, to be honest. I was not emotionally invested in these scenes, or in these characters, or in any other character for that matter. And that is my biggest problem with First Man, because I should be emotionally invested. And also the director, Damien Chazelle, he didn't really put his own stamp on it. It's as if he had watched too many Terrence Malick films, you know. It felt like I was watching a Terrence Malick film rather than a Damien Chazelle film. But yeah, I would still recommend it. But if you want to see a really good aviation slash space travel film, then you ought to check out The Right Stuff and Apollo 13, which are better films in my opinion. And by the way, for those who are interested, here is the code for First Man. I picked up Escape from Sobibor with the great, and I cannot believe I'm actually going to say this word, late Rutger Hauer. Yeah, I was shocked when I heard about his passing. I just couldn't believe it. I still don't believe it. He was the kind of person who could not die. You know, he had this immortality. You know what I mean? I don't know exactly how to explain it, but you have these famous people that you're a big fan of, and you love their work, and then suddenly they're gone, and you refuse to believe they're gone, because it feels impossible. Yeah, I know it might sound ridiculous. It is ridiculous, but maybe you know what I mean. You know, that's what I have with Hauer. And the last time I felt this way was when David Bowie died. You know, who also had this immortality. You know, he was, Hauer, Bowie, they were practically immortal. You know what I mean? But yeah, you know, as a Dutchman, I am proud of what he has achieved. He was the first Dutch actor who managed to break through in Hollywood, and he opened doors in Hollywood for other Dutch actors and actresses. I really believe that they owe their career to him, like for example Sylvia Hoeks, who plays Love in Blade Runner 2049. And you know, one of the reasons why she was cast is because she is Dutch. You know, they thought it would have a nice connection to Hauer in the first movie. But oh, by the way, there's an hour-long documentary where Hauer gave a little glimpse to his life. You know, he was the kind of guy who kept his life as private as possible. But it's a wonderful little documentary. It's called Blond, Blue Eyes. It is on YouTube. I will leave a link below to that video. It's in Dutch, but it has English subtitles. So, you know, please go check it out. Yeah, it's a damn shame that he's not with us anymore. But he left behind an incredible legacy. He made some great films, and let's face it, he made some bad ones as well. But it's the good ones we have to remember, like Escape from Sobibor. So, yeah. R.I.P. Mr. Hauer.